So we've just passed the mark on the calendar for spring equinox. And I like to associate spring with the kapha dosha, that's its season, and also therefore with regeneration, generativeness, new growth, new experiences, and the ever popular spring cleansing. What are we cleansing when we come to the spring? We are cleansing whatever we accumulated in the winter. So we're also in our schedule right now on the yamas and the niyamas. We're in the discussion about Saucha, which means cleanliness. So in the spirit of spring cleaning, in the spirit of Saucha, let's take a seat and we shall begin. Put these aside, I don't need them right now. Okay, please take your comfortable and upright seat. We will start with a short period of sitting quietly. I would like to chant to initiate the class, and then we'll be doing some pranayama in a seated position. So make the seat that you take comfortable enough to be here for a short while. Rest your hands in your lap if you like. Every day we have cycles in the body for cleansing. Your body has ways to do that for you. You can also be a source of impediment to your own body. You can end up being a source of burden to your own body by what we expose ourselves, what we take in and such. And so the cleansing process may need support. It might need a little nudge from us. And in the same regard that there's a winter to spring cleansing, there's a daily experience of cleansing as well. Ultimately, when our system is less burdened by whatever we're accumulating that impedes us in our yoga or in our compassion or awareness, ultimately, as our system works better, it's going to be easier for us to sustain our responsibilities, including our responsibility to be sensitive to life at large. And what I'm referring to right now is our responsibility to stay informed and attuned, aware of what the global events are, so we can take action in our own local experience, our relationships, our community, our actions, the ways in which we are a global citizen, but doing so in our personal life, right here, right now. So as you're arriving, you might be sifting through the residue of sleep, whether it was deep and nourishing or less than nourishing. You may have the residue of stress or responsibilities. If you can locate the place in you that is a global citizen and wants to be at your best for that. And may today's cleansing practice help promote our capacity for that kind of awareness. Release your hands to your heart, please. We'll chant Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu. May our practice, as it requires of us, a kind of protection and nourishment and vigorousness, may it help us to overcome impatience or animosity, the human susceptibility to hatred. May this practice bring us from tamas, from forgetfulness, to tejas, to luminosity. Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saviryam Karavali Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvesha vahi. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saviryam Karavali Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvesha vahi. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saviryam Karavali Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvesha vahi. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namah Hari Om. As you bow your head to your heart this morning, just take note of your inner privilege for being here. And also, in whatever way it's meaningful to you, you can make a gentle bow to those on the planet right now who are not so fortunate, and in fact, who are in harm's way directly. Both Ukraine, of course, and the other places on the planet where there's conflict and warfare. May our practice help us to be better citizens. You're welcome to release your hands and open your eyes. In my own practice this morning, I had a long time in inverting. It is so helpful to the organs, the pineal, the pituitary, the thyroid, the endocrine system. And it's really a helpful way to have cleansing, because when you're inverted, there's a whole process of lymph and circulation that changes. So I'm hoping I can do some of that with you this morning. But we also have these other kriyas, or cleansing practices. Kriya can mean the act of cleansing. So we're going to use bhastrika and kappalabhati as a part of that process. So as you sit upright, put your attention at the solar plexus. And let's begin with bhastrika, a strong exhale out through the mouth. Exhale. Inhale through the nose. up to suspension. Release the suspension in your own timing and exhale completely, patiently. A little bit more brisk if it's up to your body, of course, if you want to go more briskly. Exhale long. Inhale to suspension. Your own timing, exhale patiently and thoroughly. Now, kappalabhati. We're going to practice cleaning the sinuses a little bit. This particular transition from vata to kapha can, for some people, promote sinus congestion. So as we did on Tuesday, we're going to do 30 on the left, 30 on the right, and we'll go for 20 and 20, 10 and 10, 5 and 5. And then we'll see where you are at that point. So bring your right hand up like this. Close the right nostril gently. 30 rapid exhales on the left side, then on the right. Left is closed, right is open. Left for 20. Right. Left 10. Right. Left for 5. Right. Back and forth. And exhale. Now inhale through both nostrils up to suspension. Exhale smoothly and completely in your own timing. Now kappalabhati with both nostrils. When you're doing this kappalabhati, keep your pace consistent. And if my pace is too fast, you go at your pace. Let's begin. Exhale. Inhale, left nostril only. Suspend. Now right nostril. Inhale right. Suspend. Exhale left. Kneeling. A couple things that if you're not now doing them in your morning routine for cleansing, one is to do tongue scraping. When you wake up in the morning, to scrape the tongue. I just use a spoon, but some people have tongue scrapers. It's a thing shaped like this. I don't remember the word for this right now, a thing shaped like that. And then you clean the tongue with it. You also could gargle with salt water in the morning and clean the throat back through here. Gargling is also helpful for your vagal tone, your vagus nerve. And of course, if some of you can do it, a neti pot is helpful. I don't have, I have a damaged sinus nerve from breaking my nose, having it broken for me, playing field hockey. So I can't, the neti pot, it makes this searing pain on this nerve that runs to the base of my skull, and I feel like I'm going to pass out. So I don't do a neti pot. But for those who can't do a neti pot, you could also boil some water in the tea kettle, put it in a bowl, and then steam your sinuses, and then blow the nose and do some cleansing that way too. What we're going to do right now is lion's breath, which is also a cleansing breath. So you're going to be opening the throat. We do come forward. The tongue comes out and the eyes get big and you make a sound. So if you put your paws, these are your paws, your lion's paws. When you go forward, you're also going to open the fingers like that. You know, like you're scaring something off. You could think of like Durga and the lion, the lion's pose here. Okay, so inhale as if you're all calm. Then you're going to exhale and make your lion's pose. So like this. Then you inhale calmly and serenely again. Three times more. Twice more. And the rest. We'll do just one more thing in the realm of pranayama this morning. And what I'm going to do is turn sideways so you can see me. This is familiar to most of you, new for just a couple of you. So here we're going to be using rabbit pose, and the inhale will be a back bend. We're going to exhale to go forward. We'll inhale to rabbit pose. We'll exhale, come down. We'll inhale back to this back bend. So each exhale, we're closing the torso against the thighs. And that closure is where we're thinking of cleansing. We're squeezing the breath out. The exhale breath is cleansing. The inhale breath is for vitality. So reach back and interlace your fingers. Roll your shoulders back. And if you're someone who cannot reach the floor in this position, if your knuckles don't reach the floor, then in that case, put a block or a blanket behind you so that you will have the ability to touch the floor like that. And your head will be going back. Okay. So with the inhale, shoulders back, chest and heart up, open your throat. And then exhale, come forward, close the torso over your thighs, touch your forehead to the floor. Inhale, roll up to rabbit pose. Exhale, roll back down towards child's pose. And then inhale, roll up. And exhale, fold forward, squeeze the lower belly. Raise your arms up behind you. Inhale, come up to rabbit pose. Exhale, lower your hips to your heels in child's pose. Inhale, roll up into the back bend pose. And exhale, roll forward, come down. Child's pose, raise the arms up away from your lower back. And inhale, roll up to rabbit pose. And then exhale, lower down to child's pose. And last time, inhale to roll up. And then exhale and come to virabhradrasana. Curl your hands into fists. Place your fist in the inguinal groove, so deep down in the lower belly. Breathe in smoothly. And exhale, fold over your fists and snuggle your knuckles into the lower belly. And inhale smoothly, rise back up to kneeling. And exhale, bow forward, snuggling your fists and your knuckles into the lower belly, really just above the pubic bone. Inhale, roll back up. And 3 times more, including this one. So we'll do 5 all together. You're gonna exhale, come forward and down. Inhale, rising up. And exhale, rolling down. Of course, at your own pace. You want to complete the exhale, even savor the exhale. Pause for a few moments. And then last time, inhale, rise up. And last one, exhale to roll down. And then rise up to virabhradrasana. And you've been kneeling, so you have less circulation down through the lower body. If you now come for a minute onto your back like this, your body's going to recirculate down to the legs, and there's a cleansing response that's happening on your behalf. So notice what is the mind or the mood, having had about 20 minutes of cleansing pranayama, what's happening now? There's another form of kriya that's very powerful. It's not something that I can lead you through, but I want to reference it a little bit right now, because we're going to do a practice called Chitara Parivartanasana. By the way, you don't have to pronounce these things to do them. Bring your blankets onto your mat, please, under your pelvis. So this practice I was saying is called Chitara Parivartanasana. It means the churning of the belly. So I'm just getting my blankets sorted out. So what I'd like you to do is put these two blankets, your two blankets, under the back of your pelvis. So there's a cleansing practice I was saying where you have to work with somebody. It's a specialty. It's not my specialty, but you could find someone to do it if you felt like you had to somehow have a digestive cleanse. It involves drinking very hot salt water. And then when you have the salt water in the body, you're doing specific yoga practices. They start standing and then come down to the floor slowly, slowly, and into this kind of Chitara Parivartanasana that we're going to be doing. That practice is intended to help make a cleanse. It's like a yogic preparation for a colonoscopy. We're going to do this part this morning without the hot salt water and without all the other parts. But I do want you to think about when you cleanse the intestines or the colon, your mental health, we say in Ayurveda, starts in the colon. Mental health starts there. So take the arms into a T shape, and we're going to keep the knees as snug to the chest as your body lets you do it. And you roll down basically side to side. And in this rolling down, you're churning the belly, a little bit like churning butter. You're going, if you had the stick, you're going side to side here intentionally to rotate the belly. I like to do this with the two blankets because it's easier for lots of people to keep their knees to their chest, but I also enjoy the massage of the blanket across the lower back, just above the pelvis and the ilium bones. So when you're going side to side, sometimes you might feel like there's a tender spot where that blanket is. That could be musculoskeletal, but it could also be the internal organs, the ascending colon or descending colon, or what you have access to there with the blanket. Use your exhale when you're going side to side, so the breath is also not that long right now. You could think of it like a little bit like a bhastrika breath that's going through the nose. Angela. You wanted a salmon treat, huh? It's not going to happen right now. Okay, a couple times more, please. I know, it's so sad. So sad. Please come to center. And bring the knees. Hi, Bindi. You want a salmon treat too, but it's not the right timing. Bring the knees to their opposite shoulders, please. Cross your ankles and reach up to hold the feet and snug them towards the chest. Relax the lower belly. Pose. How's your morning so far? So delightful, right? Yeah, all the things. Please release and touch your feet to the floor. Set yourself on your blanket so that you're in supported bridge pose. That means you have your hips on the blanket and the pelvis is just very slightly elevated with the two blankets. Okay, and while we're here, let me suggest this. Roll to your side and come up to sitting. Neaten up your two blankets. I know they probably got a little bit smushy, and it's really going to be helpful if your blankets are firmly folded. And the reason that they're long like this is the narrow. This is more narrow like this. Okay, now while we're here, lie on your right outer hip on the blankets and come down onto your right arm. Okay, bring the knees up to the chest. So this is a little dance if we had a foam roller. And by the way, you could do this on your roller if you'd like. You're going to be rolling on the right outer hip right there. So the knees might come towards the floor. And then you roll up, lengthen the legs, roll a little bit forward, roll a little bit back, bring the knees up and over and down. So it's a little bit abdominal core training, we could say, but you're also rolling on the outer hip, both in flexion, this is flexion, and then more in neutral, because you're not really in extension. A little bit of coordination. It's really fun to do this on your foam roller. And as I say that, let me remind you that there are foam roller and physio ball classes on the schedule again. Right now, Alice and I are teaching. I'm on Mondays at noon, and she's on Wednesdays at 9. And there's another class coming on the schedule in April. So this may be challenging some of your core stability or your outer hip, shall we say myofascial tension. Let's do it one more time, straight out and roll. Okay, now the other side. I like to keep seeing you, so what I'm going to do is move this like so. Moved it too far. All right, let's put the left outer hip on the blanket. And you really are on the outer hip. So when you bring your knees up to your chest, it'll feel like the knees could come to the floor, right? So that's more of that Chitara, the rotation, the churning of the belly. And then when you straighten the legs, you're on the outer hips with the trochanter, you're rolling over these bony landmarks on the juicy part right there, the gluteus medius, gluteus minimus. You could smile at your own experience, your own efforts. Yeah, the right hand is a stabilizing hand. It's okay to use it that way. It's helpful to try to keep the legs together. Notice the effort that the belly has to make. And deeper than your obvious abdominal muscles are the intrinsic core muscles. So try to be curious about how coordinated or smooth you are with this action. And some of that might be that you have to kind of reconnect to your intrinsic core if there's a lack of smoothness or coordination right now. That's okay. It doesn't make you a bad person. It just means we have a little reconstruction to do. Let's come up one more time. Okay. All right, now I can't resist. While we're here and we have our blankets, let's take the top blanket and curl it. So what you're going to do is you're kind of molding it to be, it's rolled now in thirds pretty much, but you're molding it to have this round part at the very top. And that is where the belly button now goes. Welcome to spring. Come onto your elbows. You could hold your head if you want to, or you could put your head in your hand and say, oh my God, why am I having chocolate cake for breakfast? Whatever you need to say to yourself. And there may be some pressure, of course, against the abdomen. Some of you might feel your heartbeat there. Let's bend the knees and just roll the shins side to side. So you'll be massaging the organs in the abdomen. Now, when you roll your shins to the right, you could think of your gallbladder and your liver there. When you roll your shins to the left, your pancreas and your spleen. Also the transverse colon and the stomach. So good morning to the internal organs in the body. I'm really going to be curious how you experience the sun salutation after these cleansing practices. It's possible that your limbs are going to feel really light, and you may have more flexibility in the whole body, having done some work in the inner body. So let's bring the shins back to center now. Touch the feet down. Place your hands beneath your shoulders. Press up to table pose. Reach back to child pose. Go ahead and drape your arms over your blankets since they're there. And then let's raise up. We'll put the blankets aside. And come up to standing, please. Come to the top of your mat with your blocks for surya namaskar. Okay. Don't you feel terrific? Feel free to say so. Or maybe what's happening is you're getting the part of the cleanse that is like, oh, maybe you're getting a headache, or you feel a little bit nauseous, or you're realizing, oh my gosh, I have some repair to do with myself. Join your hands to your heart, please. Perfect timing, Nakula. Hi, yes. How did you know this was the timing in the class, huh? How did you know that? Okay, let's inhale, raise up, please, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, side bend to your right. That's the ascending colon there. Inhale up to center. Exhale to the left, the descending colon. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, raise your heels. Exhale, come down to your squat with the heels lifted. This is from Tuesday's class. And inhale, rise back up, chair pose. And exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, glide forward. Exhale, left toes straight back. Smoothly inhale to rise. Gaze up if you can and look at your thumbs. And exhale, arms wide. Hopefully you have a sense of spaciousness in the body. As you come down, touch your left knee down, lift your right heel. So the knee goes up, the right knee comes up here. Lift your heart, roll the shoulders back. And then exhale, bring the torso forward, lower your right heel to the floor once again. Walk the hands forward with your blocks. You can either choose to have your right knee in your armpit, which is one way that we do some cleansing. You prevent circulation for a short time, or you impede it a little bit. You also could choose to bring your right arm and shoulder to the inside of your right knee. So you can make that choice for yourself. Notice that the lower back is more broad here. See if you can breathe down into the pelvis and the lower back. So we're going to walk the blocks back so they're in line with the right foot. And inhale, rise up to your basic lunge. Exhale, step backwards to downward dog pose. And notice the circulation that comes through your body there. Right leg, right arm, right side of the waist. Okay, and then exhale, left foot forward. And inhale, rise up to your crescent. You may raise your eyes and look up at your thumbs. And you hold steady with the breath and the mind, even if your body has some bobbles and wobbles. And then exhale, sweep the arms wide. As you're coming down, touch the two blocks, lower your right knee, raise your left heel. Like tippy toe with the left foot. So you're really picking it up like this. The knee goes higher. And then we're going to come into a little bit of a back bend. Now lower your left heel down, bring your torso forward. Walk the hands forward. You might put your left knee in your armpit or your armpit over your knee. You could also choose to come to the inside of the left leg. For some of you, I know that the length of the torso and the length of the thighs, putting your knee in your armpit is not architecturally possible. But for me, it fits really nicely. And let's walk the hands back towards the line of the left foot. And inhale, raise up to your basic lunge. And then exhale, step backwards, downward dog pose. Inhale, forward to plank. Exhale to the shape of seal pose. So you can point the toes, touch your shins down, and then inhale, raise up your heart, open your throat. Exhale, glide forward to Cobra Pose. Inhale, raise up to seal pose. Exhale, plank. Inhale, downward facing dog. Exhale, right foot forward. Inhale, rise to your crescent. Gaze up at your thumbs. Slowly bring the left inner heel to the floor in virabhradrasana 1. And keep the right arm raising up and make a backstroke with the left arm. Reach down and hold the inner left thigh if you can reach it. Exhale and windmill your arms over right leg and down to the blocks. And inhale backwards, downward dog pose. You exhale, left foot forward. Start with the crescent lunge. So when you inhale to rise, your hips are facing primarily forward. Gaze up at your thumbs. And then transition your right inner heel slowly to the floor. Reach back through the upper inner thigh, the inner calf, the inner ankle. And then take the right arm like a backstroke. And hold your inner right thigh. Exhale, windmill the arms over your left leg and down to the blocks. Inhale backwards, downward dog pose. Inhale to plank. Exhale to seal pose. Inhale, lift up in seal pose. Exhale, cobra. Slide your shoulders back, bend the elbows. And then inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, plank. And inhale, downward facing dog. Okay, exhale, 1 foot forward, 2nd foot forward. Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Let's do a cleansing pose, really helpful cleansing pose that I'm going to show the modifications for because I have a double hip replacement. So I can't do the full what you can do. So what some of you can do, take the arms out to the side, wrap your right elbow over your left, and weave the arms like a rope, we say. Yeah, and then bend your knees. Okay, so with the right elbow on the top, we usually pick up the left leg and cross that one over. When you cross over, you could put your toes, look, I got my block right there, on a block, or you can wrap your left foot around your right ankle. And that's what I don't have anymore. We don't recommend it for hip replacements. But we do want to bring this snug pose down. Keeping your gaze steady like an eagle, unwind the arms, press into your standing leg, and inhale, raise up your left knee like Karate Kid, and then exhale and step down. And notice your temperature and circulation. The left elbow over the right. Bend your knees. Wrap the right over the left. And as you come down, maybe your toe goes to the floor or to a block, or it hovers. Maybe you like to balance on just that one leg, or you can wrap your foot behind the other ankle. Bring your elbows down to your knees. Eagle pose includes keeping your gaze focused. We're going to inhale to unwind. Press into your standing leg. Don't step on your cat. Raise the arms up. Lift your right knee. And then lower down. Let's do Uttanasana for a moment. Hi. We're just doing Uttanasana so I can pet Nakula. Hi, honey. You're having so much fun out there. There's other kittens and there's birds. Thanks for touching base. Okay, let's check out how we can do an inversion this morning that gives this feeling that comes through the pineal and the pituitary gland. And a reminder also that we're going to be having a yoga therapy clinic on Monday. We had our first one this past Monday. It was really fun. Last Monday, our focus was the shoulder stand pose. This coming Monday, it's actually going to be understanding headstand pose. So I'd like you to place your chair on your mat. Okay, let's keep that guy there. Take your 2 blankets and fold them back to the storage fold. This is how you prepare for your shoulder stands. This is one of the setups for shoulder stand. Okay, so let's take the second blanket. Fold it as well. Watch out for kittens. Yes, oh my God, there's so many birds out there. You guys are just having so much fun. And by the way, they can't get to the birds. There's no loss of bird population in this neighborhood because of these cats. Excuse me. Okay, so let's take these 2 blankets and put them in front of the chair. And I'd like you to have 2 blocks. And also, if you have a sandbag, it's helpful to have that nearby as well. I'll get my sandbag. So one of the things that happens in yoga practice when we invert is that we're getting more circulation to the head. We're also inverting our vayus and our doshas. And so it can be really helpful for the vata dosha to feel more grounded by going upside down. We're coming into kapha season, so it's a really nice time to make this transition with this cleansing that happens by being a little bit inverted. So what I'd like us to take a look at, we're going to go backwards off the chair. We'll do our candlestick pose. Some of you will do intermediate practice. You could put blocks here for your feet in plow pose. But when we complete this shoulder stand cycle, we're going to come down and do waterfall pose with that sandbag on the head to give us one of the feelings that we get from headstand, which is to say that there's weight on the head in headstand. Honey, don't chew on that cable, please. I know your instincts are so up right now for like attacking stuff. Shoot. Okay, please straddle your chair. Slide down. Watch out for your hair getting caught under your shoulders. Place your shoulders on your blankets. And your head, the back of your head goes on the floor. And we'll raise the legs up to candlestick pose. Close the eyes. Maintain the integrity of your pose, but let your mind get really quiet here. You're being treated right now to a bath that's based on gravity. The circulation is responding to gravity. Anyone for whom your transition is going to be really smooth, and you maybe were in the clinic on Monday and you learned this transition, then you can follow me. If it's totally new to you and you have any uncertainty or you have tight hamstrings, then don't come over to Plow Pose. It's not time. We have to put a clinic together for how you do your Plow Pose. You have your blocks back there, and that is a place that some people put their feet so that the feet are elevated. That is one option to make the floor higher, is to put the blocks. For those who can reach the floor with ease and comfort, you go directly to the floor. You're either exploring Plow Pose comfortably and skillfully, or you're still in candlestick pose, which is also great. And we're going to slide the hips from plow back to candlestick. If you came down, please come back up. And we're going to go down for everyone. So touch the feet to the upper back of the chair, the seat of the chair. Now hands beyond your head without pulling your hair. Slide yourself down backwards. So your hips will land on your blankets. The knees and the feet go on the chair. And we have our two blocks that go by the sides of the head like earmuffs. And the sandbag goes on the forehead and also on the two blocks. So that some of the weight of the sandbag is held by the blocks, and the sandbag is made stable as a result of the blocks. Do not cover your nose. Let the nostrils have space. And you're welcome to close your eyes. Encourage your body to feel that this is a breathable, restorative time. So the nose and the eyes are not impeded by the sandbag. At the same time, the weight of the sand on the forehead is calming to these internal organs in the head. Your body to deeply relax. Trust that indeed there is a process occurring. You've already given your consent, so allow it to happen. Allow the medicine to keep going deeper and deeper. The mind can be really at ease. Body to rest again. 2 degrees more deeply now for the last minute. Allow the mind to do the same, to rest very deeply. Wiggle the fingers and the toes and reach up and take the sandbag and place it back behind you evenly. And remove your blocks so they're not in your way. Bring the knees to the chest once more. Roll to your side. And rise up to your meditation seat. Oh, you came for the meditation. That's great, Nakula. You're a well-rounded kitty. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we'll come to our meditation time, and I'm going to encourage you to imagine yourself like the body is like the candle, and the mind and the heart are like tiny candle flames that are not flickering about wildly right now. the mind to be very still, the thinking mind. That candle, the tejas, the light of awareness, is there. Remind yourself that your practice is to help make you a better citizen in your life and your family and your community. Please raise your hands to your heart. And let's notice now, what is it like to bring into your awareness those on the planet who are not so fortunate to have this practice this morning? Thank you everyone for being here. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May there be inner peace. May there be peace amongst us. May there also be peace in all the realms, including your realms. Thank you, everyone. Namaste. Even peace amongst kittens, where possible, right? I'll just close the recording so we can be together.